Hi, friends! I'm Bella, and this is my best pumpkin friend Kinny. Tonight, I want to share a special story with you. A pumpkin story. It's about how Kinny first came to the magical forest and why pumpkins are so magical. So climb aboard the hayride with us. The story is about to begin.
In the human world, there was once a farmer whose pumpkin patch was the pride of the land. Every fall, people came from far and wide to wander the fields and choose their pumpkins. But among them grew one pumpkin, unlike the rest, Kinny. From the moment he sprouted, he knew he was special, magical. The first time I met Kinny was in the farmer's haystack maze. I was just a boy then, lost among the stacks of hay, and there he was, smiling at me. I told Kinny I was bound for the magical forest to serve as a guardian. He longed to come too, but I needed the counsel of Mr. Oliver, the wise owl. Seasons passed. Kinny reseeded himself each year, always becoming the farmer's prize pumpkin, always waiting for me to return. When I went to the magical cave to live, I never forgot Kinny. When I left the pumpkin patch that autumn day, I promised I'd return, and I meant it. But in the magical forest, nothing happens quickly. Every new magical being must be voted on by the magical forest, and then the magical cave. Well, it has its own rules. There's a waiting list, longer than you believe. I had to wait my turn to bring Kinny's case to the forest, before I could bring him here. But I never forgot him. But these things take time in our world, because the cave protects what's most precious, and Kinny was precious. Then one autumn, a lady offered any price to take Kinny away. That's when he called to me for help. Kinny's message reached me through Twinkle from the enchanted place. She was a brave little white bird. She flew across the skies to find me in the magical forest. That night, under the silver moon, I returned for Kinny. With a spell, I left another pumpkin in his place, and we carried him away to safety. When we got to the magical forest, I thought Kinny would join me in the magical cave, but he said no. His magic belonged to the harvest, to the joy of autumn itself. And so it was decided. North of the magical forest, Kinny was given his own land. Every fall, his patch would bloom again, bringing joy to all who came. Kinny had found his true home. My dear friends, I want you to know, magic is also in the harvest, in the laughter of children, in the glow of autumn nights. That was Kinny's gift, and his gift belonged out here, outside, where everyone can feel it. And every year, when the leaves turn gold and the pumpkins ripen, I'll come back to visit Kinny, to see his patch, to hear the laughter, and to remind myself, the magical forest is better because he is a part of it. Hi there, magical guardians. I see you found me here in the cave, hidden deep in the magical forest. My name is Morning, and I am a young wizard. I have been trusted with keeping the stories of this enchanted world. Tonight, I will share with you one of my favorites, a tale that only appears when autumn rains, when the world turns golden and brown. It is the story of the Whispering Pumpkin Patch, and the great guardian pumpkin we call Kinny. In the quiet corner of the magical forest, where moonlight kissed the grass and the leaves shimmered in colors of amber and gold, there lay a patch unlike any other. A pumpkin patch, but not an ordinary one. This was the Whispering Pumpkin Patch, a place where the pumpkins themselves could speak. Each pumpkin carried a voice, a memory, and a secret of the forest. And when the wind blew just right, the patch filled with soft murmurs, as though 1,000 little voices were sharing bedtime tales. One autumn evening, Bella the bunny and Pip the little cuddle bear from the town of Honey travelled along the winding paths. Dawn, our kind guardian deer, had asked them to gather lantern light for the harvest festival. But instead of lanterns, Bella and Pip found something far more magical. The pumpkins glowed faintly in the moonlight, their vines curling gently in the soil. Bella paused. "Pip," she whispered, "do you hear that?" And Pip nodded, wide-eyed. The pumpkins were whispering. At the very center of the patch stood the great pumpkin, larger than any they had ever seen. His vines glimmered like emerald ribbons, and his glow was steady and golden. Bella stepped closer and called softly, "Hello?" The pumpkin's eyes flickered open with kindness. "Welcome, little ones. I am Kinny, keeper of the Whispering Patch. You have come to the place where the forest keeps its secrets safe." Kinny did not speak often, for he only awakened during the autumn months. But when he did, oh, how the forest listened. Long ago, when the forest first learned the turning of the seasons, I was born from the golden breath of autumn itself. The leaves had fallen, the air was crisp, and the world glowed in shades of amber and brown. From that magic, I took my shape. But we pumpkins do not stay forever. When winter comes, our vines sleep beneath the snow. When spring blooms, we rest in silence. When summer blazes, we dream in the earth. It is only when the fall rain begins, when the world turns golden and brown once more, that we rise again. Then our whispers return, carrying the stories the forest must not forget. The smaller pumpkins began to join in, each one murmuring gently. One spoke of a fox who once danced under the harvest moon. Another told of a child who wished for courage and found it. Another whispered of the golden egg, safe within the magical cave, ready to rise again if the forest was ever in need. Bella and Pip sat down among them, listening wide-eyed. It felt as though they had stepped into a great library, only instead of books, the voices of the pumpkins carried the history of the land. Bella and Pip nodded bravely. Pip gathered small glowing pumpkins, each carrying whispers inside. Bella promised Kinny, "We'll keep your stories alive." The forest will always listen. Kinny's glow warmed brighter, his voice filled with gratitude. Then the Whispering Patch is safe. Go now, little ones. Carry our light into the world. The pumpkins hummed in chorus, their voices rising together in soft, joyful harmony. The leaves rustled in applause, as though the whole patch itself had sighed with relief. And so, Bella and Pip carried the whispers home, their arms filled with glowing pumpkins. That night, when the harvest festival lit the forest with lanterns, Bella could still hear Kinny's voice on the wind. "I will return each autumn, as long as the world turns golden and brown." And the forest knew that its magic would never fade, as long as someone was listening. And that, my friends, is the gift of the Whispering Pumpkin Patch. Kinny and his pumpkins remind us that every story, every whisper, is meant to be shared. So the next time the leaves turn golden and the wind carries a hush through the trees, listen closely. You just might hear the forest speaking back. Now, rest well, dear magical guardians. Tomorrow, there will be more stories to tell.
Thank you so much for joining us, friends. Kinny and I loved sharing our pumpkin tales with you. We'd love for you to become a magical guardian. Just check the link in the description to join. Our guardians are very special, and every month we have free giveaways just for you. We love you, and as always, keep unlocking the magic.